Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing some pocket page scrapbooking. Now these are the photos I have left of my secret sister exchange for the Scrapping Reflections retreat. So I have 9 photos and I'm using these pages which have 4 portrait photos and then these sideways cards. So I have 9 photos, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What am I gonna do? Plus I need a place for a title. So I figured what I would do is have 2 of these and I'm gonna keep them together. And I don't know if I'm gonna cut it off here, if I'm gonna cut it this way. Probably not that way because the page protector hole's right there. So I don't know if I'm going to cut it here or here then, right? We'll figure it out. Anyway, let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I just sat there and talked about how I was going to be making vertical things, right? Like my portrait photos, I was going to have to do vertical title, fill in that kind of stuff. So what do? I promptly ignore that, forget all about it, and end up making a landscape title card. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I cover up that gap where the stripes are, and I go ahead and put some sparkly gold washi on there, and then I'm going to title this I Love to Craft. Now, I called this using up pocket cards because I am going to use a decent amount of pocket cards. But I'm also using up some of the die cuts that come with my LE Studio kits. Now, you may remember way back in the day, I started to do 2023 pocket pages for each month because I did that way back in 2018 and really enjoyed it and thought I would do it again for 2023. Fun fact, though, I forgot to update my address when I moved, so I missed out on one of the months of the pocket kits. So I think I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to use the other months and kind of blend them all together so that I can have that monthly 2023 spread. But yeah. So anyway, I'm using up the bits, right? So, and then instead of losing my mind about what I was doing with that vertical or horizontal rather pocket card, I just cut it and made it fit to the 4x3 card space, right? And then I put it there, and I just decided that was the way I was going to do it. And then what I would do is add in the second page protector with just the 2 4x6 photos, and then I would have a title on the front part of that side. Now, I was trying to make it so that I had at least everyone on the main spread at least once. So if you see me moving photos around and trying to figure that out, it's not anything to do with I'm like picking people over another. I was really trying to get everyone in the main spread at least one time. I think some people are in there twice, just the way that the photos did it. And then, of course, my friend Crystal isn't even on this spread because I did a 2-page spread of me and her together because Erica was snapping the photos and we were acting ridiculous, and it just ended up being a whole montage that needed its own layout. So anyway, now I am going to go ahead and work on my title card. So I have cut out the film strip with the things inside of it and then added some more film strips because why not? Film strips are fun. And then I am just going to layer up some label stickers and some words. And basically, I'm just trying to get a kind of decent title page. I really like the scissors on there. And then I decided I was going to color in some of these icons. And I went ahead and colored them in with some Copic markers. No fancy coloring, guys. It's literally just coloring in some bits. Then I came across a Copic marker that was, whoops, and I just dropped it, completely dried out. And I was like, why is this one so dried out? And Couldn't tell you. I was wondering if it was one of those ones, you know, the cracked lids that you've heard about with Copics, but it doesn't have a cracked lid, so I just probably was unlucky enough to buy one that was completely dried out. So I have that one set off to the side because obviously I'm going to need to replace that color. Not that I don't have 68 other colors that are very similar to it, but you know how it goes. So now I've decided that I'm going to decorate the photos a little bit. And they don't have to be ridiculously decorated. I'm not going for that kind of vibe at all, but I definitely do want to get a little bit of decoration in on those photos. I don't want my photos to be naked and have sparkly bits on the pocket cards, because then it just feels, it feels like an unfinished layout to me. Do I always decorate the photos? Not so much, but these photos do have a good amount of free space on them. So I do decide to decorate some of them. Not every single one, right? Like whatever's feeling good to me is what I'm doing. And that is the cool thing about pocket pages, right? Like you can treat each individual one, like each individual pocket, as its own little layout. Or you could treat it as one cohesive thought, or even a combination of both, which is kind of where I am going for with this one. That was really poor English. Where I am going for. You guys get it. You know what I'm talking about. It's been a long day, you guys. I started work at 4:30 this morning, so it's been a long day. As you can see, my coffee was empty, but I actually scrapbooked this layout yesterday. Yeah, I actually got a layout done ahead of the day that it was going up on my channel. Did I get the voiceover done? No, I did not. So, I don't know. Am I making progress getting ahead again? Who knows? I've just decided to kind of let that go, being ahead. The only time I really need to be ahead is if I'm going out of town or something. Because I do something scrapbook related every single day, and that is definitely how I am happy in life, how I am enjoying things. It's fun for me, right? Like it's a relaxation, it's fun, it's decompression, it's just a way to be creative, and if I can do that every single day just for a little bit, I'm good. So we're gonna call that good. Okay, enough of that. What am I doing? So you found this card, and normally I don't like numbered pocket cards. It drives me crazy. I don't want to feel like I have to make a list of things. And basically that's the way I feel when I am creating with pocket cards that have numbers like this. But what I decided to do was fussy cut out the 1, 2, 3, put it up on some pop foam, and put a couple labels down so that I would have a place to write. And I think I wrote 1, 2, 3, she's the secret sister for me, because that's what these photos are. These are photos of our secret sisters. And if you see a photo where two people are spread apart, it's because one of our secret sisters couldn't actually make it to the retreat, so we used a placeholder. If I would have thought about it, we could have did like a flat photo, but I didn't think about it ahead of time. It was the first Scrapping Reflections retreat, guys. So that's where I was. Now I do have this card that says, remember this moment always. I had to look to see, and I don't have my glasses on, so I had to squint. But it was just a whole lot of white. So I tore the edge, put the blue underneath of it, and then I'm going to decorate it a little bit with a paintbrush and a couple of labels. So did we do painting there? I don't know. We had brushes. I'm sure people used brushes. It's fine. Plus it's a scrapbooking retreat, right? So any of these kind of crafty icons, we're going to be good. I wasn't going to stress about it. And I'm not even exactly sure how many cards I ended up using up, but I used a bunch. It was definitely a struggle using the cards because some of the patterns I wanted to use had rounded corners, and I didn't want to mix my square and rounded corners on this layout, which is weird because sometimes I don't care if I mix them. Sometimes I don't care if they're round. Sometimes I don't care if they're square. It's okay to mix them. Just for some reason on this layout, I wasn't feeling it. And since I wasn't feeling it, I wasn't going to do it. And I think that that is something important, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Say you have an unspoken rule, and I just finger quoted at you guys. Like, you always use rounded corners in your pocket pages. Always. Because you like it. You like that aesthetic. But then you have some square corners that you got, and you really don't want to cut them because you just think they're perfect. Well, then pop them in your page and go on with your bad self, right? Like, you can even break your rules. So there are no rules in scrapbooking. You can do whatever you want, but sometimes your own rules that you have imposed upon yourself just because that's the way you like to do things, it kind of turns into a rule. Who cares, right? Go on, move on, do something fun. Now, I've decided that that empty pocket right there is going to be a shaker pocket, and shaker pockets are stupid easy, right? Like, I throw some stuff in them, I seal them up with my Fuels tool, and I move on, and it's done. Sometimes I do something funky with a shaker pocket. This time it's not. I am literally throwing in diamond art bits and some leftover sequins that I had in a package. And that's all it's going to be. You'll see, I don't think I show that on camera because I finished the layout, had to let the fuse tool heat up. And then I run two fuse lines on my pocket page, just in case one of them fails. The other one is there as a backup. So now I'm going to figure out how to decorate this side, and that sticker right there that I covered up in the center talked about sewing, I think. And I just said, you know, it didn't matter. We could do whatever we wanted because we were at a retreat and we can use whatever crafty icons and words we want. But you know what? I didn't want the sewing on there. So went ahead and covered that bad boy up. Now that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, one of my rules, do whatever I want. And then I kind of had a rule for this page, like any crafty icon would do, except I didn't want the sewing on there. So covered up the sewing. Like, do what makes you happy, do what feels right in your scrapbooking. If you are an emotional scrapbooker, you know what I'm talking about because you just get a feeling inside, right? But if you are not an emotional scrapbooker and you like a logical approach to scrapbooking, then, you know, just throw your rule out the window, right? Just try it. Just try it. So now the cards that I have going down here, they are very decorative. There's a lot of white space on them. There is definitely plenty of room for journaling if I want it to journal. I don't know if I'm going to journal on this page yet. I haven't figured that out. And that's okay. Like, I have time, you guys. It's going to take forever to get this project done. Most of the scrapbooking and those photos are finished, but I did stay an extra night and I explored Sulphur Springs, Texas. So I have photos of that stuff too. But, you know, this project isn't one where I'm like, oh my word, I've got to get this one done. This one's just kind of like a back burner project. When I want to work on it, I'm going to work on it. It's actually time to go through my photos and reassess and figure out what I've got going on, and see where the holes are in my albums and where I need to plug in pages. But that takes time, right? Like, that takes time. I never had to do that when I scrapbooked absolutely chronologically, but I felt like my creativity was being kind of stifled that way. So I pass, you know, I trade off. So I scrapbook however I'm feeling creativity-wise, but then it takes me time to make sure pages are going in order in the albums, because it's still important to me to have my albums in chronological order, even though I'm not scrapbooking the pages and the memories chronologically. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I feel like this video is a whole bunch of me rambling about random topics that are kind of adjacent to this layout, but not really all about this layout. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes I just get on and run my mouth and don't even look at the video, which is kind of where I'm at now, so I probably should take a picture. Take a peek and see where I am. Okay, so going to do a decorative bit up here to finish off this page of the layout, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my shaker pocket in. And I think you'll be able to see the shaker pocket in the still photos that are coming up. So there's that, you know, that one I had to cut down because I promptly forgot about the size, but it's fine, you guys. It's totally fine. Anyway, you guys, that is going to do it for this layout, and that is going to do it for this video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Let me know if you're doing any pocket page scrapbooking right now, and oh, there's that shaker pocket. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.